In this lesson, we're going to talk about some more chord progressions. We're going to start by talking about chord progressions that involve using 3 chords. And we're going to mainly focus on our 1, 4, and 5 chords, and also a little bit a 1, 2, 5 chord progression. These are really common, and I'm just going to show you different combinations of them. So let's play these in the key of G major to start out, because we know a lot of the chords in the key of G major. So let's take a look first at a 1, 4, 5, 5 progression. So 1, 4, 5, 5. So 1 bar on the 4, I'm sorry, 1 bar on the 1, 1 bar on the 4, and 2 bars on the 5. So our 1, 4, and 5 of G is G is our 1, C is our 4, and D is our 5. So let's just use quarter notes to start. So 1 bar on the 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go to our 4, which is C, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go to our 5, which is D, for 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it would start all over. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now let's apply our down, down, up strumming pattern to that. One chord, 4 chord, 5 chord. So that's a real common use of the 1, 4, and 5 in that pattern. So let's try to move that to a different key, because we also know the 1, the 4, and the 5 of the key of A. So let's do the same thing, the same pattern. So we're going to use our A chord as our 1, our D is our 4 chord, and our E is our 5 chord. So using our same down, down, up strum pattern. One chord, 4 chord, 5 chord. Okay, so that's how we can use those 4 chords, or those 3 chords. Let's look at a different pattern now. Let's do a 1, 1, 4, 5. So we're going to hang on the 1 for 2 bars this time. We'll go back to the key of G and practice at that. So still using the same G, C, and D. This is common. You can play thousands of songs with these 3 chords. So we're going to do a 1, 1, 4, 5. So we'll just use our down, down, up pattern again. Okay, let's play that in the key of A now. So we're going to hang on the A for 2 bars, go to the D, our 4 chord, for 1 bar, and then the 5, our E chord, for a bar. Okay, now let's look at a different pattern we can still do with these three chords. We're going to do a 1, 4, 1, 5. So back to our G. We're going to go back to the key of G, so G, C, and D again. So it's a 1, then to the 4, then a 1 to the 5. So 1 bar of each. So 4, back to the 1. Just repeat that. Again, we can do that in the key of A as well, A, D, and E. So A is our 1, D is our 4, back to A for the 1, and the E for the 5. Again, these are really common chord progressions. You'll find them in all kinds of songs that you're familiar with. Let's look at one more chord progression we can do with this, which is we've actually already kind of heard when we did Wild Thing, but this is a 1, 4, 5, 4 chord progression. We'll do with this in the key of G, so we're going to go C for a bar, or I'm sorry, G for a bar, our 1, then to C, our 4, then the 5, which is D for a bar, and then back to C for a bar. 4, D for a bar, back to 4 for a bar. You could play a different strum pattern. That would be like Wild Thing that we did. So those are 4 common chord progressions using the 1, the 4, and the 5 of any key. So now let's take a look at still a 3-chord chord progression, but using the 1, the 2, and the 5. So this is common too. So the 1 in the key of G is G. The 2 is A minor, which we also know that chord. And the 5 is D. So it's going to go 1, 2, 5, 1. So G for a bar. Then we're going to go our 2, which is A minor. Count G major, 1, 2, G major scale. 1, 2 is A. The 2 we know is usually a minor chord. The 2. And the 5, which is D in the key of G. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And back to the 1, which is G. So put together, that would sound like this. And we'll start all over again. That should be another familiar chord progression to you. So now let's look at what you can do with a 4-chord progression. So we're going to look at some chord progressions that are kind of referred to as like chord progressions of the 50s era of music. We're going to first start with a 1, 6, 4, 5 pattern. A 1, 6, 4, 5. So let's use the key of G because we know those chords in that key. So our 1 is going to be G. Our 6, if we count up 6 from our major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is E. We know that the 6 is most commonly used as a minor chord, so we know our E minor. So 1, 6. Our 4 in the key of G we know is 1, 2, 3, 4, C, our C major chord. The 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is D. So it's a 1, 6, 4, 5, G, E minor, C, D. We're going to play these a bar at a time. repeats. So again, you can practice these with different strum patterns. And I would strongly recommend playing these chord progressions with your metronome as well. So one more, we can change this up just a little bit. Instead of playing the 4, we're going to play the 2 chord. So we're going to make it a 1, 6, 2, 5 chord progression. So the 2 in the key of G, 1, 2, using our major scale, is A minor, and we know that chord as well. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 bar on the 1, to our 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, to our 2, which is a minor chord, our A minor chord, and then to our 5, which is D. So that's a couple chord progressions you can play around with in the key of G and the key of A. So practice those, practice different strumming patterns, and I'll see you in lesson 9.